Currently, there are several different smartphones accessible on the market. Smartphones are no longer just for making phone calls or receiving SMS messages, they can now be used to manage virtually every aspect of your daily life. As a result, determining which smartphone is the best fit for you can be extremely challenging. In the market for a new smartphone? Here are 10 things to keep in mind before making your purchase. Is there a certain type of smartphone you require? Prior to selecting a smartphone, it is important to determine your objectives and requirements. A smartphone is essentially a computer that you can carry around with you in your pocket and use to do a variety of functions. From ensuring that you are able to maintain contact with the outside world to sitting in a darkened room and playing Clash Royale, this might include a wide range of activities. However, how do you actually use your smartphone on a daily basis? Prior to selecting a smartphone, it is important to determine your objectives and requirements. What I'm getting at is that you shouldn't have to spend more than $200 to send WhatsApp conversations and post a few updates on social media platforms. Those who are unwilling to compromise on the fluidity and smoothness of their gaming experience should keep an eye out for smartphones that cost less than $400. Those who want the best of the best in terms of design and performance, on the other hand, should be prepared to spend anywhere from $500 to several $1,000s. See what the 10 most crucial factors are to consider when selecting your next smartphone in the following section. 1. Low-cost mobile service providers and plans. Do you wish to purchase a new smartphone? You're very much spoiled with options, to put it mildly. Before you go for your credit card to make an online purchase, take the time to research the best cell phone plans available from the major mobile service providers. Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, and T-Mobile each have something unique to offer customers, and they will frequently provide comprehensive bundles that include broadband, voice calls, and text messaging. Who knows, it may be the appropriate time for you to consider switching your existing service provider. You can even keep your present phone number if you'd like. 2. The computer's operating system. If you're reading this article, it's likely that you've already made the decision to purchase an Android-based smartphone. However, there are numerous versions of the Google software to choose from. Before purchasing a new smartphone, it is recommended that you brush up on your knowledge of Android history, or at the very least review the differences between the most recent two versions of the operating system, Android 9 Pie and Android 10. Apart from the fact that these are delicious delicacies that will please even the most ardent sweet appetite, the names of these delights match to different versions of the Android operating system, each of which has its own set of features and capabilities. Android 10 is the most recent version of the Android operating system accessible, however not all devices have the privilege of displaying it. I recommend that you avoid purchasing a smartphone that is running an outdated version of Android Nougat or Marshmallow and instead opt for a smartphone that is running at least Android Pie, and if you are assured an upgrade to the newest and most recent Android version, that is even better. 3. The look and feel, as well as the functionality. A big factor in deciding on a new smartphone is personal preference, which is important in terms of both the software and the overall aesthetic of the device. Some people favor rounder lines and a flowing design, but others prefer a more sturdier style, which is defined by straight lines and sharp metal edges, depending on their personal preference. As each month passes and the industry witnesses a cycle of launch events, we must acknowledge that smartphones are becoming increasingly similar to one another, and that the choices offered are heavily impacted by marketing campaigns and industry trends. Design, on the other hand, is based on functionality. Although a metal unibody is beautiful and trendy, it may hinder you from using some functions such as a microSD card or a headphone jack in some situations due to the design. Pre-purchase inspection should be performed to guarantee that the item is of high quality and that you will be able to use it in the most comfortable and convenient manner, provided these elements are important to you. 4. The display's dimensions and kind. Those who enjoy receiving news updates or simply getting lost in the high-definition visuals of the latest Android games should seriously consider purchasing a smartphone with a display that is at least 5.7 inches in size. People who use their smartphones mostly for WhatsApp or to check Facebook postings will be perfectly content with a smaller screen. In terms of display technology, there are two main types in Android: LCD and AMOLED. LCD is the most common variety, and AMOLED is the most expensive. The fundamental distinction between the two is the way in which light is projected from one to the other. In theory, LCD panels are brighter and better at displaying content when exposed to direct sunlight, whereas the AMOLED display offers higher contrast and more saturated colors when exposed to direct sunlight. In practice, however, with the passing of time and the introduction of new technology, the distinction between the two is becoming less and less evident as time goes on. Having said that, the visual quality of Full HD, Full HD+, or QHD resolution is usually always excellent. 5. Processor and random access memory. The CPU is the nerve center of a gadget, and it is on it that the whole performance is dependent. Sometimes the processor's capabilities is what prevents software updates from being implemented. Qualcomm and MediaTek are both considered safe bets. During this time, Huawei's Kirin CPU is demonstrating its ability to provide users with high-quality performance. It should also be mentioned that the quantity of RAM accessible to a processor is critical to ensuring that it performs at its peak. Yes, the processor is significant, but we need to consider the smartphone and its technical parameters as a whole while evaluating them. Internal storage space is number 6. Examine the RAM and internal storage of your new Android device, rather than just what it says on the sticker, while making your selection. Consider how much space the pre-installed applications take up on your device. Despite the fact that you may use a micro SD card to enhance the storage capacity of your smartphone, it is recommended that you use internal memory rather than an external card to save money on storage. When choosing between models with 128GB or 256GB of internal storage, consider how much you'll actually utilize before making a decision. Are you utilizing your smartphone as an external hard drive for your computer, storing movies, music, documents, and other large files? Do you have any heavy programs installed on your smartphone? If you answered no, you're probably fine with 64GB of storage. Not to mention that you may take advantage of cloud services to save on storage space while still having access to your data at all times, provided you have an internet connection, which is highly recommended. As a general rule, when looking at the various smartphones on the market, it is recommended to choose one with at least 4GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. Battery life is number 7. When shopping for a new smartphone, one of the most crucial factors to consider is the battery life of the device. Keep in mind that increasing the number of milliamp hours, mAh, does not equate to increasing battery life or extending the battery's life cycle. The variables that come into play are distinct, and it is beneficial to be aware of them. Consider, for example, that screens with higher resolutions cost more energy, yet the most recent processors are designed to maximize battery life and reduce power consumption. Furthermore, display refresh rates and quick charging technology should be taken into consideration. Rather than relying solely on technical specifications, it is preferable to consult user evaluations and benchmark results in order to understand how all of these elements operate when combined in a single device. For the time being, 4000 mAh appears to be the industry norm. 8. The quality of the camera and its ability to be creative. Users will benefit greatly from the fact that smartphone makers are beginning to pay more attention to camera quality and features in recent months. Increasingly, smartphones are becoming more and more similar to digital cameras in terms of the amount of megapixels available, hybrid autofocus, optical stabilization, manual modes, special effects, and special selfie functions. Once again, I advise you not to get too hung up on the figures on the technical document that you have been given. The megapixel count does not tell the entire story, and it is crucial to obtain a sense of the type of integrated sensor, lens quality, and pixel size before making a purchase. Even if we've covered everything in our reviews, it's free to open the camera app and check out the brightness of the images as well as the software features while you're still in the store. Software and integrated functions, number 9. Do you require a phone that is capable of performing all functions? You're one of those folks that requires a smartphone with a fingerprint sensor, heart rate monitor, UV sensor, Swiss Army knife, and a Batmobile all built in. You have a wide range of options here, from the most recent top-of-the-line smartphones to a mid-range smartphone, where you will find all of the latest hardware advancements. However, don't limit yourself to selecting a smartphone solely on the basis of its hardware specifications. Activate the display and thoroughly investigate the software to see whether it contains any hidden features and whether it delivers options that are suitable for you. Do you frequently share your device with your children? Check to see if you have a guest mode or parental control enabled. Is it convenient for you to read ebooks directly on your Android device? Choose a graphical user interface that lets you to choose the color of the display and that includes anti-strain eye protection features. In a nutshell, don't judge a book by its cover and properly explore the system. 10. The cost of performance in relation to the price. The price is the last item on our list, but it is most likely the most important thing to consider if you are working with a limited budget. When it comes to your next smartphone, how much money do you want to spend? Is it worthwhile to spend your entire paycheck, or is it better to set a budget and choose something less expensive but equally powerful and up to date with the times? The decision is yours, but keep in mind that there are some devices that are better than others in every price range. So, what characteristics do you seek in a smartphone? If you're in the market for a new smartphone, are there any characteristics that might make or break the decision on which one to buy? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below.